Hey guys, welcome to the woods. Well, today I was thinking about the whole concept of desire and what should we do with desire. And you could attach that desire to like a lot of changes we'd like to see happen around us. The desire to see world hunger to end, a desire to see the nature treated more kindly, a desire to rule ourselves differently, a desire to have more income equality, a desire to not treat people differently based on their race, or treating people differently because of what country they come from, or what language they speak, or what religion they profess. So that would take to operate a planet in such a way with all those problems that we sort of pick every year or month to sort of pick another one. Let's work on this one. But if you look at it, it's like a soap opera. We never really solve any of them necessarily. But that's a little bit harsh. Really, we have solved a lot of them, but it's not so much that we've solved them. We've evolved as a human species to a higher vibration, to a better sense of who we are. And the better sense of who we are has then yielded a more loving planet. But it hasn't been by the doers running around, although you would think by the way people talk that it's only the doers that ever make anything happen. It's the evolution of the individual. Each individual has to change. So let's go back to those points of things we want to fix around us. We want to eliminate, suffering. We want to eliminate, maybe I should pick a couple of them, but the list I just rattled off. But let's just say, income inequality. We want to fix income inequality. We want to be more sharing. Why do some people have to hoard so much? And then because they have all the money, they want to take advantage of the people around them so they can get more of it. And what's with that? Why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we have to be so self-centered and so lack of sharing and things like that? Well, so what would you do with that? Do you say, well, money isn't distributed very evenly, and if you're famous because you know how to play a sport or act or something like that, you get tons of money. And if you're a teacher, or and I don't want to play into all these cliche things, but you know what I'm getting at. It's just funny how we distribute and what we appreciate and who we reward. It's easier to give money to someone who already has it than it is to give money to the poor guy begging on the street. I don't know why that is, but it is, and it happens. But the point is this: there's things out there we want to fix, or we want to be different. We have a desire for them to be different. And the cool thing that I like to focus on is that desires, and I've heard this many places, desire really is your inner self, your connection to the collective consciousness, your connection to the God source, the Christ consciousness. That connection through you gives you desires. Everyone has specific desires. They're different desires. You say overall they sort of overlap a lot of the same things, but everyone sees it a little bit differently. So desire comes from within. It's not a subjective. We may pick what desire we're going to focus on at the time because it's sort of what's in vogue at the moment. But we all have individual desire. And that individual desire is not a to-do list. Like, here's your assignment. I gave you an assignment, go get it. You got another assignment, go get it. You're an individual, you got something different, you go get that. It's not that. It's not sicking us out there to go get and fix and change and be. The desire is your vision of what's already happening. It's already changed. You're having a desire, you're having a vision of what already has changed. I have a desire for a lot of money. Well, because you're attracted to a lot of money, you're going to have a lot of money, you can have a lot of money, but people say, well, that doesn't work. It doesn't really work. Well, you don't need to have the bucket to know that desire, people have a desire. Maybe we won't get into the money thing because that gets a little bit funny. Everybody's got their funny attitude about it. Is there enough money for everybody to have all the money they want? Whatever. So I like to stay 3 feet back on the topic. When you're really feeling it and we've got all the facts on the table, then you could play it into how it plays out with money, how it plays out with love, how it plays out with power, all those types of things. But what I want to really get to is I feel that the planet is only going to be served by us as an individual me as an individual, getting tuned in, tapped in, turned on, connected to my source, connected to the Christ consciousness, and bringing that in and working out the little battles that are going on, the war of what's not right that's going on within me is reflected outside in the way I am with other people and the way other people are with each other. It's just the whole planet, its uneasiness and its unfairness and its ruthlessness is just a reflection of where we are. So if I go back to my point that if we have a desire, the desire is a vision of it already being changed. This is what's different. This is what's changed. So if I could say right now, we have a desire to be more, let's stay with the money thing. Let's say we're going to be more fair in distributing the money. We're going to be more generous with each other. Let's put it that way. All right, so we're going to be more generous. I have a desire to be more generous with people around me. Now, I could go, chase down the people who aren't fair. I could go, become Robin Hood and start, attacking the people who have the money and giving it to the people who don't. And, there could be a lot of doing involved with that. I could create laws and rules, and I could hunt down the people who are not fair and all that type of stuff. But that's an energy of, I've got to change it. Not the source from within is giving me a vision of what is changed. So it would seem naive to say, well, what do you mean it's changed already? Let's just play with that. Let's just say right now, from what we can see in my screen here in the woods, there is no problem. There's no lack of, there's no struggle, there's no taking advantage of each other, there's no turmoil, there's no fight. It's done. We've solved the world's problems. How does that feel? And that vibration of that feeling of knowing down to your core that the world is a loving place now. If you can change that in yourself and you can feel that, you can have that connection to your higher self, then when you wake up tomorrow morning and when you go home tonight and you go on about your day, it's going to be different, isn't it? You're going to be different. You're going to hold on a little less. You're going to be a little more loving. You're going to be a little more loving in your words. You're going to be a little more light in your step. You're going to be a little bit more, you're going to vibrate positivity that's going to be picked up by people all over the planet. Now, since we solved the problem on the whole planet, everyone's in that higher vibration. So things have really changed. Now, it takes a minute to see, the shelves in the store to change the way we package products or whatever other ways that we want to be nicer to each other and nicer to the planet. So that's just my general sort of overall view of like all problems solved by being nicer. So we're all being nicer, but you've got to really feel it. You've got to make that change in yourself. Now, play it from a little slightly different scenario. Let's just say we went around, you and I got together and we changed everything and we fixed all the problems, changed all the laws, got all the people to say, yeah, okay, I'll sit down, I won't keep doing that. Yeah, okay, I won't do that anymore. Yeah, I'll stop taking advantage of people around me and hoarding all the money. And everybody agreed, okay? You and I made that happen. Now, we wake up tomorrow morning, and unless the people have changed, we're going to go right back. Everyone's going to go back to what they used to do because they're just like, all right, what's wrong? And then they're going to start talking about what's wrong. And then someone else will be like, is that what's wrong, really? And then they're going to talk about what's wrong. And then next thing you know, there's a whole big conglomeration of people talking about something that's wrong. And then everybody comes around, the reporters and everyone, what's going on? Well, what's wrong? Well, we're talking about what's wrong. And then next thing you know, it starts spreading over the whole planet. And everyone says, we didn't fix anything. It's still all wrong. And it's like, no, we fixed everything, but we just weren't ready for it. That's why there's a time lag between us having the vision of what we want, what we desire, what we wish was different. It's done. But are you done? Are you done integrating that? Do you feel the difference? Do you feel love? Are you connected to Source? Are you a being who can walk and live in that new vibration, in that new loving way of humans existing on the planet. Are you ready for that? So really it takes you going within, you finding out who you really are, you working out that battle of there's not enough and I'm not good enough and I got to make someone else be lesser so I can feel good about myself. All those battles that are going on within you is what's battling out on the streets. So I invite you to go back within, slow down, let go, sit down, which seems very non-productive, but slow down, sit down, relax, and get in touch with what's really going on inside you and work through that battle of there's not enough and you're not good enough and no one loves you and you're disconnected from source, so you know you're going to suffer and all that type of stuff. And stop telling everybody that they're going to suffer and that everything's wrong, and stop telling yourself that you're going to suffer and everything is wrong. Feel peace, feel the sense that everything is changed already. Feel the sense that there's nothing we need to do here. There's nothing we need to fix. Now the cool thing is, in my wrap-up point, we have a helping hand coming from the fact that, and the reason we're even having these conversations, the reason we even have this desire to be more loving on this planet is because we know it can happen now. We know it can happen now because it is already happening. And so the point I want to talk about, which I seem to always be talking about, is this journey of the planet around the galaxy every 24,000 years. And it's got this whole solar system swirling around it, so it's all complicated, all this going on. But as planet Earth travels around the galaxy, it has low vibration, disconnected from source, disconnected from God, struggle, no sense of oneness, no sense of there's enough, no sense of the things that would make a person feel love and be love. So there wasn't a lot of love on the planet. But we're coming back up to that matching vibration of a more loving vibration. So we will walk out of our houses tomorrow morning more connected to self, less internal struggle, less sense of I'm condemned, less sense of there's something I did wrong in my past, less of a sense of worrying about the future, less a sense of I've got to go get up and fix all this stuff, less of a sense of there's something I need to do today, less of a sense that there's a test here and that I'm not meeting I'm not cutting it in this test, and I'm going to suffer in when I go back to the vibrational perfection where I came from. All that'll be gone. But that'll go because the whole vibration of the planet, including everyone who's on it, including us, is rising. That's why we're having these conversations. That's why spirituality is more on the table. That's why everything seems like I just can't take that old paradigm anymore. It's got to go. It's not just because we don't have enough or somebody's really suffering that much. The people on the planet have never been less of a struggle to survive on the planet's probably never been in our known history. But what we have is we have that inner desire that everybody knows is in there but doesn't know how to identify or talk about. We have the inner desire for a more loving, peaceful place because we feel more loving and peaceful. We are all more connected. Meditation, connection, focusing on your breath, relaxation, feeling that sense of love and perfection and relaxation has never been more strong than it is now in our known history of the planet. Of course, we've been around this 24,000 year cycle thousands of times. And we've been on the planet and off the planet, on the planet and off the planet, at all different vibrations. We've been through this before. We've done all this before. We know it's coming. It's in our innate desire to just relax with this and watch it unfold. Walk out tomorrow morning into your world knowing it's done. Feel that tonight while you're sleeping. Feel it before you go to bed. Feel it when you wake up. It's done. Just end the turmoil in your own head, and you won't see it around you anymore. It will go away. We don't need to be ruled into or taught or inspired into being more loving and sharing and giving and all those good things on this planet as people. We don't need to be taught how to do that. Just need to allow it. Just allow it. Let go. and see how that works for you. Anyway, I'm just noticing it's 15 minutes. That's my time. I try to really keep it like not past, and I'm at 15 minutes and 7 seconds. All right, guys, I love you, and you know, we'll chew on that again. We'll look at some other angle on the whole situation tomorrow. But you'll notice there's a theme here. Just go within, love yourself. Let go of your own inner turmoil, your own sense of there's not enough. The planet feels there's not enough, so they're fighting each other for what they have and don't have. And there's no such thing as there's not enough. And there's no such thing as you're unworthy, and there's no such thing as you're unloved, and there's no way you can be disconnected. You came from perfection, you're going back to perfection, there's nothing you can do wrong. You're loved. And put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right, guys, talk to you tomorrow.